everybody sign in? Everybody sign in? Tristan?
Yeah.
Go ahead, hold on to it. Okay. Got today's date, 6/11. Good? Good? Okay. We got a few missing. Everybody gonna be here tomorrow? 9th class, maybe we'll have a popcorn night or something like that. Get through with a little extra snacks. Give me the four different components in your driving world. Vehicle? What am I missing? Environment. Road. Okay, good. All right, this is what we're talking about today, this one.
Road.
Sometimes breaks down, right? How does it break down?
Construction.
Construction, good. Yeah, we got construction all up and down Main Street here. How else? Cooper. Stay on target today, okay? We got to film. So, how else does it break down? What? Natural disasters. Give me one. Earthquake? You guys know one of the worst disasters in U.S. history included what was called the Nimitz Freeway collapse. It was the World Series of 1989. I was living in California at the time. And the San Francisco Giants were in it. You guys know what the Nimitz Freeway looked like? It looked like our Alaskan Way Viaduct. Just imagine. A double-decker freeway. 7.9, 8.0. What happens? Crumble. Well, a lot of people died. Where? Not on the top deck, but on the lower one. Yeah. I asked today why I will not travel southbound, typically on Alaska Way Viaduct. Never know when the big one's going to hit. Okay, we get that kind of natural disaster. What other kinds of natural disasters could we have on here? Huh? Floods. Very good. That's a real comment. All right, everybody experienced that in the last hour and a half driving here? Great. I refused to go out. I stayed inside. I didn't have anything, you know, like rain gear to go out in it, so I grabbed our car, our car tarp, and I cloaked myself in the car tarp to go out in it. It was crazy. You can't drive in it because even your wipers won't wipe away that rain fast enough. So what do? Pull over. Yeah, you don't drive. That's it exactly. Okay, so this is what we're talking about today. The road on its spectrum of problems from one extreme to the other. Like with the big and the small, remember spectrum for vehicles, very small, very big. Now we're dealing with road weather conditions. What are the extremes? From one end of the spectrum to the other.
What do you mean?
What's the worst kind of weather condition you can imagine? I see a hand. I love hands in the air. Bogdan.
Snow.
Snow. Okay. I won't say it's the worst. It's over here someplace.
What?
Ice.
Ice. Now that's a little different, right? What are we dealing with here? What about weather affects the driver? What is it?
Rain.
The rain definitely affects it. And how? How does it affect the driver?
It makes it harder to see.
Harder to see, so you got this problem. Good. Visibility. And the visibility, okay, has this trickle-down effect on the road. And so now ice goes down here. Ice. What's the problem with the road? What do we call it? You don't have any
Traction.
traction. That's it. Good job. Traction. So from one end of the extreme to the other, what's the best form of traction? Bogdan, a hand. I see a hand, but Joel beats you to it. Say it again. Dry. Okay. Versus slippery. Sure. Ice is slippery. Wet. I'm just going to put H2O there. Can you drive in a flood?
Yeah.
You drive in a lake? Can you drive in a riverbed? Only some of those fancy Lotuses that are built from the Bond series and all. They are out there. You can actually drive. But no, most vehicles are not submarine. So, in fact, there's only one really. So, yeah, you can't drive on that. And during this wet weather we just had in the last couple hours, I had to warn the drivers, they were first time on the freeway, it was a little scary actually, it shocked me. Take their turns like this and the lane changes a little bit too harsh. And when you have standing puddles of water on the freeway, what do you got to be concerned about? Hydroplaning, that's it exactly. So really, you're not driving, you're hydroplaning. Do you have contact with the surface of the road?
No.
No, you don't. You don't. So you're not driving. Can you steer? No. Can you brake? No, you can't. So people's tendency in an emergency like that really is to do what? They freak out and they go to the brake. You have to resist that and do what? Chill, yeah, chill. You can't even turn anymore. So don't do any braking, don't do any turning, don't do any steering. Don't use the steering wheel, don't use the brakes. Ease off the gas pedal, that'll help you slide, maybe glide through to the other side on the surface. And then you get some, bless you. There's a flurry of sneezes. That's another problem. While you're driving. Yeah, flurry of sneezes. All right. Let's go back up to visibility. We got the extremes here, but what are the extremes there?
Fog.
Fog is a problem? Good. I'm still going to put that only here. What? Everybody said, yeah, you all said rain. I'm going to make it real big. All kinds of rain in this state, right? We've got drizzles, downpours, deluge, ocean mists. But still we're not at the extreme. What is the extreme for your eyes? Say again. Say again, Tristan.
What?
You got it? You got it.
I didn't say.
Oh, one more? Was that you?
Sun?
You're throwing your voice. Okay. He said darkness. That's it exactly. It's the absence of what? Say again. Light. Sun. There's your extremes right there. Sun versus dark. Can you drive in the sun? Sure, but what's the impairment? Can't see very well. How do you adjust to that? Yeah, by putting on sunglasses. Good. What else can you do? Good. You got your visor, sunglasses. You know where the one state in the country that sells the most sunglasses ever? You guys know why? We are up in Washington.
We're so sensitive to using.
We're so sensitive to it because we don't see it so much. That's true. It's another reason why.
The clouds. They're cute.
How often do you use them? Then where do you put them after you're done with
Lose
them?
them.
That's it. You lose them. We tend to lose our sunglasses most often in this state because we're not using them so much. So we have to go out and buy another pair. That's right. That's why I always kind of do this. And even then I forget them. Okay, there's one other thing you have to do with the sun because it affects your visibility. Run along. You're going to the sun. You've heard of glare, right? Where's the glare? Could be in the window. What do you do with the window? Yeah, do what? Well, you mentioned that visor. Yeah, bring that visor down, the little thing.
I thought you meant hat.
You can do that too if you want. Sure, a bill on your hat will help, maybe even better than that visor, depending on where the seat is in the car, how high you sit up in it or low in it. Good. One other thing you got to do with that window in front of you. That's the thing that separates you from the sunlight. Keegan.
If it's really dirty.
Yeah, that's it. Really dirty. So you should do what? Wash your fluid. Keep a good ample supply of window washer fluid on there. Good job. It can really cut down on the sun glare. If you see sun glare, you cannot see through the windshield at all whatsoever. When you're going out of the sun, what's your concern for other drivers? They don't see you because all they see is sun. So you better do what, Bogdan? Very good.
Blinkers.
Blinkers will help, sure. But do the blinkers stay on? They get a little confusing. So put your headlights on. Headlights on, even sunlight. Can you drive in at night? Can you drive in total darkness? You can't. You have to do what? You have to adjust to it. This is what this is all about. Driver adjustment. Okay? you have to adjust to the dark by putting on what? Okay, you got your, what kind of lights? You can use low lights, your low beams. And then you got your high beams too. Okay, guess what? For like all the vehicles we talked about yesterday, we have laws that govern their use, who gets to use, where they get to use them. Here also we have laws. High beam laws and low beam laws. What do you suppose the low beam law is? It's like when it's supposed to be on. Yeah. When is it supposed to be on? Definitely at night. Supposed to have them on in inclement weather. But what time of day?
30 minutes before dusk.
That's it. You guys got it. Okay, so hold on a second. 30 minutes
Before.
before or after dusk?
Before.
Before? Okay, here's a little illustration. Here's your sun. All right, what happens when it goes down? Below the horizon? Is it still light out? When it's at the horizon? You're right, you got it. So then it's 30 minutes after, according to the law. 30 minutes after. Got to memorize that one. 30 minutes after sunset until when?
30 minutes before dawn.
30 minutes before dawn. Very good. Because it's at dawn, it's definitely light enough. Right? It's just coming up again for the day. For dawn. Or sunrise. Good. Okay, so that's the time, and then everything you said fog, you said where else? You have to put on your headlights? When, what? And definitely in the darkness, throughout the entire night. Going where? Fog lights. If you have fog lights, you can put them on, but your fog lights typically will not even come on unless your low beam lights are on. That's the way they're made in cars. Okay? So you always have snow, exactly. Think of all the other weather conditions. Even driving through, say, even if it's dusty out. All right? You could have a sandstorm. Anybody driven through those? A smoke and filled forest? I've driven through those. It's worse than driving through fog, some of that stuff. So definitely have to have them on there. But what we say in driver's ed is to do what with your lights when you just even get in the car? Just turn them on. Engine on, lights on. Engine on, lights on. So you're always seen better by other people anyway, and then you have no problem in being on. Now the law has to say something about the high beams, just not that you have to use them, but that you better turn them off at some point. Where?
Oncoming cars.
Oncoming cars, good. And yeah, you don't need them in the city, you're right. Because typically we've got the city lights. And where? And when you're following somebody, good. Behind Boggin, hand up. No, not this time? Okay. High beam. So we got oncoming. What do you suppose the law has to say about it? Just when you see them? Or a certain number of feet, like we said, with following distances and swinging. What's 300? Is that for following or for oncoming? Following. It's actually following. And 300 is following. So what should oncoming be?
500.
Yeah, it should be more. Good job. 500 feet. Memorize it. Oncoming. Who's brighter, in other words? Yeah. Who do you get blinded by more, in other words? The oncoming. Still get blinded by people coming from behind. Why? Where?
Mirror.
In the mirror. What should you do with your mirror if you ever experience that? Yeah. You guys know how to do that? Used to have. Oh, there it is. Right over there. How do you adjust your mirror when you're... yeah. There's a little lever and you just flip it. Flip the lever and it drops it into a position where you can still see the lights behind you. Because there's an extra mirror in there, behind the translucence of the first mirror. Alright? So you can still see them, but they're not blinded anymore. Some vehicles have actual dimmers that are automatic, and so it kind of shades it. Like, you ever seen certain hotel windows that will dim themselves? Yeah, dark and tinted like that, automatic like that. Okay? Pretty high stuff. So that's following, all right? 300 feet, dim them. 500 feet from oncoming traffic, dim that. That's high beams, low beams. What else have we got? Is that it? Just fog, rain, snow? Oh, there's a lot more. Tornado. Yeah, that'll affect your visibility. You heard about what happened a couple of weeks ago in Oklahoma.
There was a F5 tornado go through north.
That's right.
It was like a mile.
The 5. It's the highest classification of tornado. It was about what, a mile wide? Crazy. And then it split off and had another one too. And I heard some storm chasers, tornado chasers, talk about their experience. They were right in between the two. They thought that was the worst that could ever happen. And then their colleagues actually got caught up in one. And they died. You hear? It was one of the first times ever in the country that three storm chasers died trying to track down this tornado.
I wonder if they got a good picture.
Well, they did, and there's a lot more going on with pictures. There's a certain armored vehicle you can put out in it, and it takes enough pictures yourself. You don't have to risk your life anymore. Like from Twister, the days of that movie with Helen Hunt, remember? Yeah. Tornado's bad, and it also causes other things to fall. So that affects your what? Your traction. Causes cows to fly and drop out of the air.
Witches.
Causes witches, okay, it is Oklahoma, Kansas. It causes debris from trees, obviously, branches and things flying through your windows, horizontal like, no good. We've had a couple of tornadoes touch down around here. You guys know? It was up in Lake Tapps a couple of years ago. Enumclaw and Lake Tapps had an actual funnel cloud that uprooted trees, down some barns, didn't kill anybody. I don't know if it killed any livestock, but anyway, the potential's there. Usually in the Northwest we have other kinds of things. You know, Amar mentioned earthquakes already. Earthquake, it doesn't really affect visibility so much. It's the ground underneath. You said it. Tsunami, that's definitely traction related. I'm going to put that way out here, tsunami. That'll ruin your day. You guys know that if you get a tsunami warning, you're out at ocean shores, you have 20 minutes to escape. That's it. I'm a reservist with what's called the Camp Murray down at Fort Lewis, and I'm not an Army reservist, I'm an emergency management division reservist, and we'll go out on these kinds of disasters and help people out in recovery, set up food drives and things like that for them, because it's really devastating, of course. But I learned from the manager down there, you get a tsunami warning, everything gets sucked out, of course, immediately. You don't know what's happening, and you got 20 minutes to escape if you're at ocean shores. And it's hard to get out of there because the highway system's going out. It doesn't go in, unfortunately. It goes sideways for a little while, and you got to get up to the top of 101 before you go in. So the best thing to do is try to get to where? Higher ground, exactly. And not a car, that's not going to help you. What kind of vehicle would be better? The ones we talked about. Well, maybe. I'd like to see that. Trying to pedal away from a tsunami coming in at 120 miles an hour. I don't know about that. Bucket?
Plane.
A plane. Oh, nice. But you're going to have to power the thing up, and it'll take a while to get it off the ground, maybe, especially if there's other. Somebody said it. Yeah, the motorcycles.
Just weed in it.
It's true. It's true. Did you ever see the movie Deep Impact?
Yes.
With Morgan Freeman and Elijah Wood? That's how he escaped with his girlfriend on the motorcycle. And a baby, that's right, her young sibling. All right, it's rare, but it's possible. That's why we have all these evacuation signs up around the county. There's another evacuation sign we have up for what? We're more prone to these.
Okay.
Say it again. Oh, you know. That's right. Huh? That destroys your visibility and everything in its path. I didn't live through it, but I drove through the, what was the volcano that erupted back in 1980? St Helens, May 18th, 1980. I was on the Oregon coast and it blew. And we drove up through it, going over the Tsunami River just after they cleared some debris within a couple of days of it. And oh man, was it devastating. You typically don't, survive that if you're within several miles of the eruption. You have something sometimes called a, ever heard of this expression? Pyroclastic cloud. Ever heard of that? Pyroclastic cloud. And it's 1,500 degrees, 1,500 degrees. And that thing rushes down the mountain after the explosion. Oh, we're talking 300-400 miles an hour. You're not getting away from it with our vehicles. And no, you can't power up your plane and get away in time. So that's one we definitely have to watch out for in the Northwest. And I learned from a researcher down at Oregon State University that the Pacific Rim here along the Northwest has 70 times the megaton capacity that Mount St. Helens had when it erupted. 70 times the capacity. When's the next one going to be? I think that's the big one we need to worry about. Not as much the earthquake. No, volcanic, tornado. You're absolutely right. These things absolutely cannot drive. Cannot drive. Can't even fly in them really if you've got an ash cloud. It destroys the engine immediately. Okay, let's go this way. We've got some other things that we experience more commonly. And we better watch out for them. What else? What other things? Say it again. Yeah. Think about hail. We get that strangely around here. And what happens? Trickle down effect. Trickle down effect. Huh? Yeah, it can